Star Wars Bounty Hunter is a third-person action-adventure game set around the Phantom Menace, and follows Jango Fett, the titular bounty hunter, as he hunts down Kamari Vosa for Darth Tyrannus to become the clone template for the Grand Army of the Republic. This game was developed and published by LucasArts and released in 2002, just in time for Christmas, to play on PlayStation 2 and Nintendo GameCube. In August of 2024, Aspyr ported it with improvements to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC, and got it on the Xbox Series X. So that's the version I will be discussing in this video. What's going on, guys? I'm the Walrus Jedi, and welcome to a video game review. It's been a while since I've done one of these. If you like the video game reviews, then please consider liking and subscribing and hitting the notification bell for more. As well as you can support the channel on Patreon if you would like, link in the description. Without further ado, let's get to the game. So first up, the plot. Darth Sidious tasks Darth Tyrannus to take out the Banda Gora. Tyrannus decides to kill two birds with one stone in having a bounty posted on Kamari Vosa, and who takes her out, they'll get to be the template for the clones on Kamino. So Jango is on a hunt to find Miko, a lowlife who leads the Mandalorian on a chase throughout the Outland Transit Station, but Jango catches him in the hangar and then turns him in. Rosada, Jango's friend and a owner of the Outland Transit Station, informs Fett of a message. It is from Tyrannus. The Sith Lord tells Fett he is of a select group of bounty hunters to go after a special hunt. He is tasked with hunting down the leader of the Banda Gora, Kamari Vosa. If he succeeds, he will have earned 5 million credits. Raz tells Jango about the Death Sticks and how the Banda Gora are connected, leading Fett to the Coruscant underworld to hunt a Death Stick dealer. On the Jaster's Legacy, Fett's ship, Raz informs Jango on Jervis Gloom, the target. Fett tracks him down and learns about Groff Hag. Jango goes to his plant and discovers Death Sticks, but they're not ordinary Death Sticks. They have an untraceable neurotoxin used for brainwashing. Jango is too late as he finds Montross, a rival of his, has frozen Hag to death. The two bounty hunters fight, Montross loses and flees. Jango then heads to the upper city of Coruscant to hunt Senator Trell of Ryloth, who had been helping Hag keep his crimes quiet. Fett finds the Twi'lek, who reveals his connection to Sebulto, a Dug kingpin over Death Sticks on Malastare. A police gunship arrives and tells Fett to put the senator down, who he had been dangling out the window. He complies, and the Twi'lek falls to his death.
He's on Malastare! Ah, let me go!
Release the senator, or we will open fire!
As you wish. No, wait! Ah!
Fett then destroys the ship and leaves Coruscant to ingratiate himself with Sebulto. Fett decides to hunt a bounty posted by the Dug, Bendix Fust, wanted alive, for 50,000 credits. But the Mordegean is serving hard time in an asteroid prison on a place called Uvo 4. Vosa learns of her dead contact on Coruscant and that bounty hunters were the ones responsible. She declares they will be dealt with in time. Jango sneaks into the prison. He meets an old-timer in the prison, Smoody, who gives some backstory on Vosa and the Banda Gora. A female hunter gets to Fust first, causing a prison riot. Jango fights his way back to where his ship is. Fett takes out all the remaining guards and talks with the bounty hunter, but the prison's fire sprays destroy Jaster's Legacy. The lady bounty hunter guards Fust while Fett steals a fire spray. Once he had stolen one, he returns for the bounty and the lady, who he learns is called Zam Wessel. Meanwhile, Montross realized he is on a wild bantha chase, but learns of Uvo 4 and deduces that Jango's involved with that somehow, and he is still in the running for the bounty. Fett's plan is to go to Malastare and to have Zam turn in Fust to Sebulto while Fett gets dropped off in the jungle. He makes his way through the dangerous jungle, fighting Nexu to Sebulto's palace. Fett arrives and goes on to find the Death Stick factory. Fett kills the guards and Sebulto flees, but has an accident and falls into the machinery, which kills him, leaving Fett to quip.
That'll be a sour batch.
Fett fights his way out, discovering Bandagora agents are on Malastare. Fett attempts to pull the flight log and discovers it is in Huttese. But Montross arrives, and they battle. Zam arrives. Zam swoops in with the fire spray, and Montross flees. Fett informs Zam of the Bandagora job. Jango deduces, since the flight log was in Huttese, that the Hutts are involved, and so they set a course to Tatooine. Montross, who had put a tracker on Slave One, or what will soon be Slave One, follows. Raz tells the hunters of the feuding Jabba and Gardula. Fett goes after an outlaw, Longo Two Guns, to present to Jabba, and Zam goes to Gardula. When Fett delivers the outlaw to Jabba, the Hutt reveals it is Gardula who has been dealing with the Bandagora. He also asks Fett to eliminate Gardula, telling him to access her palace via the Tusken Canyon. Fett takes out Tusken Raiders and arrives at the Hutt's palace and finds Zam imprisoned. He won't free her yet, as it'll cause too much ruckus, and she calls the guards. They take Fett, so he has to find his gear and get to Gardula. Once he does so, Fett steals the key to the Hutt's vault and pushes Gardula into the maw of her pet crate dragon.
There's one more thing, Gardula. Jabba sends his regards.
He goes to the vault with an encrypt computer and sends it to Raz and leaves, leaving Zam in her cell in the newly dubbed Slave One. When Fett contacts Raz, Montross answers, taunting him. Fett arrives at the Outland station. Fett finds Raz near death. She says Montross has rigged the place to blow. She also gives Fett the coordinates to Vosa. Slave One blasts away as the station explodes. Fett arrives on Kolma, a moon of Bogdan. Just outside Vosa's castle is the final showdown with Montross, who is wearing his Mandalorian helmet. Fett wins and leaves the errant Mandalorian to be torn apart by the Bandagora. Fett is captured upon entering the castle. He is tortured. Vosa demands to know who sent him. He refuses. Zam appears and frees Fett. Vosa deflects a laser bolt into Zam, and she flees. Fett checks on Zam and then pursues Vosa and defeats the fallen Jedi, but she is choked to death, and we see Tyrannus, who tells Fett that she was his Padawan, and Tyrannus pays Fett the $5 million and offers him to be cloned on Kamino. Fett accepts with one condition, that the first clone be unaltered and for himself. Jango then carries them back to Slave One, and the game ends. Characters: Jango Fett, a Mandalorian bounty hunter. He is the playable character, played by Tamura Morrison, who reprises his role from the movies. Then you have Razata, a Toydarian owner of the Outland Station and a friend to Jango Fett, played by Lucille Bliss. Zam Wessel, a Claudite bounty hunter, played by Leanna Walsman. Darth Tyrannus, a Sith Lord and Vosa's former master, played by Corey Burton. I'm pretty sure this game marks the first time that Corey Burton voices Dooku. Montross, a Mandalorian bounty hunter and a rival of Jango Fett. He is played by Clancy Brown. Kamari Vosa, a fallen Jedi, leader of the Bandagora, played by Tamara Phillips. Levels. There are 18 levels in 6 chapters. In all, but the last chapter, you collect optional bounties for every level. Dead or Alive for credits. You can also find in each level secrets. It's like a feather that glows orange. As you get farther, the enemies are harder, and they take more to kill, and they deal more damage to you. Gameplay and controls. You better get used to holding down the trigger buttons on your controller and constantly moving, because that is the best way to minimize damage and to take out the bad guys. The game offers some variety in weapons. You have darts, a flamethrower, grenades, missiles, sniper rifle, a heavy blaster rifle, and Jango's signature dual blasters. You'll use his twin blasters the most, but some of the other weapons are kind of fun to use. The flamethrower is fun. You just light the the bad guys on fire and watch them run around, scream. And it's infinite because on your screen you have a gauge of fuel or whatever. So, and you can use it for quite a while. You'll just have to wait for it to recharge if you use it that much. So, but your twin blasters are also, they have infinite ammo, so. If you want to capture bounties, you scan and mark them, and you either kill them or wrap them up with your cord, depending if you want them dead or alive. And the jetpack helps with traversal, but it has limited height and distance. On the older consoles, this game was not fun in terms of controls, but on the newer consoles, most of these issues have been fixed. Music. Like a lot of Star Wars games, it relies on John Williams, but it does have original music composed by Jeremy Soule, which has been playing in the background of this video, so I hope you like it. The best is the main theme. You hear that quite a bit. I'd say that's the most memorable. And then moving on to the bonuses. So first up you have the comic. In the game, you complete a level. In the game, if you complete a level, you unlock some pages to a comic book. It's issue 2 of Jango Fett Open Seasons. If you finish all the levels, you unlock the whole comic, which is cool, as it's an interesting story about Jango's early life with the Mandalorians and all that. So it's definitely worth reading through. Then you have Wizards of the Coast trading cards. If you collect all the secrets in the levels, you unlock cards of Jango, Dooku, Zam, and others. There are 23 in total for your viewing pleasure. And there's 18 levels and 23 cards. If you find the secret in each level, you unlock all 23. And then the next thing is concept art. Earning credits allows you to view concept art for the game. So if you want to see the art, you got to earn bounties, and make sure to deliver the dead ones dead and the alive ones alive, as if you deliver a dead one alive, it's worth less. If you deliver an alive one dead, they're worth, so if you want the maximum amount of credits, you got to get all the bounties and you got to deliver them the most ideal ways, and you'll get all the credits and you get to see all of the concept art. And then you have outtakes. After you finish each chapter, you will have the pleasure to watch an outtake reel. Some of them are really weird and goofy. Then you have Boba Fett. For finishing the game, you unlock the Boba Fett skin. It's a neat reward, but not worth it if you want to replay the game. Maybe a year or two down the line, I can replay it as the Boba Fett skin. That's nice, but it's not it's not a good enough reward. It's I gotta replay the game again. It's because it's just a skin. Boba Fett still uses the twin pistols. They're gold and that's kind of cool. What I liked that it's a Jango Fett game. I feel like nowadays, if we got a Mandalorian bounty hunter game, it would probably be, it probably would be a Din Djarin game, but I feel like most people, we make a bounty hunter game, it's going to be Boba Fett. So like that it's Jango Fett. I like the story. It's kind of neat. It's kind of fun. I think it's an interesting story about Jango Fett earning his legacy, because once he goes to Kamino, he kind of just chills there, and he probably still does jobs and stuff like that. So the main theme I like. I do wish that this game had an orchestral... I'll save that for... The comic book and how it ties into the game is nice, because Montross is in the comic book, so that's cool. So if you got Jango Fett Open Seasons, it's basically a prequel to this video game. You'll learn more about Montross and Jango Fett and stuff like that. I think it's neat that you get to read it in the game. That's cool. The planets went to, I think, are pretty cool. Alistair. Don't see that all the time. Went to some new ones. Yeah, we went to Tatooine. You got to get in the more famous planets a little bit too. Coruscant was cool. It was fun. What I didn't like, I wish that there was upgrades in the game. You could go to the shop instead of using the credits. Why not have a system where you earn credits and you can use said credits to buy upgrades? Make the jetpack better, buy more ammo for certain guns, weapons, stuff like that. Maybe improve your armor. Just basic stuff like that I think would make the game a little bit funner. I would have liked an upgrade system in this game. I think that would have been fun. And I don't think... I've played Jedi Knight 2, There's a upgrade system in there. Yes, you get each level you complete, you get an upgrade to your force abilities and stuff like that. So there's no choice, but you are getting better, whereas Jango Fett stays stagnant. He deals the same amount of damage, he has the same amount of health, the enemies just get harder. I would have liked upgrades in this game. Some levels are harder than the final boss. The final boss was not that hard. For the final boss, you just keep moving and just spam your blaster. You keep shooting her with your blasters. Now, if you have the heavy the heavy blaster rifle, that can help make quick work, but it's limited in ammo, and you have to get it. It's not hard. Some of the levels I found way more challenging. Like some of the Tatooine levels, like the one where you gotta get Longo 2 guns, because that spams a million enemies at you, and you're constantly shooting at people. So I would like a little bit more enemy variety in the game, because you got like Trandoshans that have the heavy blasters, then you've got like the Niktos that have blaster that shoots like a green bolt at you that is high damaging. You've got Grands that chuck grenades. You've got the Bandagora that kind of lope around like monkeys, basically. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of variety. I wish this game had more original music, and I wish it was orchestral. To me, Star Wars is orchestral in its music. If you want it to feel Star Warsy, you gotta do orchestral. All told, I enjoyed the story, but I found the gameplay lacking in some areas. Yeah, this game can be frustrating at times, but you can get better at it and not die so much. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. The gameplay is what pulls this game down for me, I think. Basically, you basically got to hold down the triggers and move the whole time. It's not the most comfortable game to play because, yes, there are times where you don't necessarily have to hold it down, but really just get used to doing that. It's got some fun things, but also a lot of frustration. Sometimes it wasn't clear where to go in the levels. Yeah, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm dumb, but I don't know. Sometimes it was like, oh, you're supposed to go on the rooftops in this one part. Let me know what you thought of this game in the comment section down below. Do you like it as a good game? Did you find it frustrating at points? Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and until next time, thanks for watching.